everybody. It's Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway. Dexter Dvergsten, Power Eye Minn-kota Lightning Sprint pilot in the studio with us today. We're going to be talking with him in a little while. Chad, not in the studio. He went AWOL today again. But anyway, speaking of Chad, another one of the sponsors on today's Dirty Thursday show is Northwest Tire, where Chad happens to work. They're looking for some front counter sales help, all right? You'd be working with customers. You'd be writing up work orders, selling tires, inventory, that kind of stuff. Pay will depend on experience. Also, the benefit package they have, pretty good. PTO, health insurance, 401k, all that kind of good stuff. Call Chad, 701-780-8473, or you can apply online at nwtire.com. Before we get rolling here with the show, if you have any questions or comments, our number is 701-213-0863, 701-213-0863. Feel free to text or call. Let's do it. Jokes my neighbor tells me. Now, I think before, but I was struggling today, so let's see. Paul, the producer, it'll be up to him to see if he likes it or not. The Beastie Boys, do you remember this one? Did we ever use this one? Beastie Boys are releasing a 5-part anthology now. Beastie Boys releasing a 5-part anthology. Parts A through D are free, but you have to fight for your right to Part E. I thought that one was pretty good. We'll throw that one in there. All right, let's do some track schedules here. Tomorrow night, River Cities Speedway, Minn-kota Lightning Sprints, Wissota Late Models, Wissota Street Stocks, Wissota Midwest Mods, Wissota A Mods are back tomorrow night, River Cities Speedway. Saturday, Devil's Lake, Pure Stock, Wissota Street Stocks, Wissota Midwest Mods, Late Models, Trophy Class. No racing in Greenbush this weekend. We'll find out why there. Sunday, Buffalo River in Glendon. It is a regular race night, and we've already got a whole bunch of people texting. Heather says, good morning. You're tardy for the party, guys. I know. Nick, good morning. You're tardy. I think they wanted to make sure that you were up to watch. There you go. Paul Erickson was worried there was no Dirty Thursday today. Heather, I'm up early, so you must have me confused with someone else. I'm going to blame it all on Dexter. That's why we're late today. Anyway, welcome to the studio. Dexter Dvergsten, how are you, man?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? You got a little waylaid on the way here today?
Yeah, late as usual.
Yeah.
Actually, I should have been early, but 21-mile detour.
Yeah, what's going on up there?
I'm not sure what they're doing on the road, resurfacing or whatever they're doing between Warren and Newfolden, but yeah, I was quite mad.
And when you texted me or messaged me, you had gotten a plenty early start.
Yeah, I was on my way.
You were doing good. I did want to mention, too, before we get too deep into this, I still got some Forks Karting Association raffle tickets. Go ahead and pick one of these up. They're only $10. They've got one $2,000 prize, a $1,000 prize, 4 $500 tickets out there, 7 $250 tickets, and 10 $100 tickets. I had to get that out of the way, too. I forgot about that. So if you know anybody looking for these tickets, okay, go ahead and get a hold of me. All right, let's get back to you now. Having a pretty damn good year so far.
Yeah, it didn't start out very well when I raced in California in March, but we took a clutch out.
Yep.
It was supposed to be a 2-day deal, and I was really excited to do it. But unfortunately and surprising enough, we couldn't find a clutch pack.
What the hell?
I thought the same thing. People have them, but they either didn't have them with them or they're at home. And we even went to one of the biggest Coin is the dealership name.
Yep.
And we asked if they had one, and they said we could order them. I'm like, well, so can my dealership back home too.
Right.
Like you should have, I feel like, things on hand here. But
yeah.
Maybe that's just today's day and age.
Now, how big of a part is that?
It's just the clutch back is just their discs in there.
Yep.
Fiber and steel discs. Anyway, when I got it freshened, I think it just didn't get put in right.
Yeah.
And
I suppose you wouldn't have that with you in the hauler or anything, because that's something you're going to have to take it all apart and redo it in a shop anyway. So I could see, I was thinking, a part that small, why don't they just carry them in there? But that makes sense.
Well, then the whole transition of, because this is a new car, and I flew down there to race it. And so I didn't have anything with. And but yeah, just unfortunate that it happened and couldn't race night 2.
Was that your car?
It is now.
Okay. Oh, it is now. Yep. Okay. So you brought that thing with you back home, or how'd that work?
So Chris Crowder called me here this winter and asked, or actually told me that I should buy his car, and And long story short, we did. And then he said I should come down here and race. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So I did it. I flew down there, and he got it all ready. I had to get my motor freshened.
Yep.
So I sent that to a guy in Indiana and shipped that there. Then he shipped it to Arizona. Chris put it in the motor, and I just more or less just showed up the race.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is not usually what I do, but thanks a lot to Chris for doing all the work to get the car going. And yeah, we had a good time.
You know, when those guys all come up here, you get to be friends with them and all that stuff. And what a great group of guys out there, huh?
Yeah, no, he's a class act. He's a really good dude. And well, then when I left, he brought the car back to Colorado Springs where he lives, and then Kyle Cole and I went out there on a road trip and picked it up.
Oh, nice. Paul Erickson says Dexter always shows up right as the flag drops. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this year. River Cities Speedway, not such a great night for you, but not bad. But now, what, 3 wins this year? I think you swept over the weekend. Where were they? Greenbush, Buffalo River, or Devil's Lake and Buffalo River.
Yep.
You also won at Greenbush this year.
Yep.
When we start looking at the history of Dexter Dvergsten, Minn-kota champion 2020 and 2021, second in points last year, off to a good start this year. I think you're 5th in points right now. How would you grade yourself so far this year?
I missed the race because we were in the field trying to get the crop in. But like you said, the first night in Grand Forks wasn't the greatest. It was the second night in the car. I didn't feel very comfortable in it. But the more laps you get in, you know, as a racer, you know, you just get more comfortable with the car and what it's going to do. And then we went to Greenbush there that third night of the year, I suppose. And I guess I come out firing and been on a roll since, I guess.
You said you were in the fields. Is that what you do? Are you I thought you were an electrician.
I am. So my dad farms.
Okay.
And actually, I started farming a whopping 52 acres this year.
You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, so it's a start. And then, yeah, so we had to get the crop in. And then, so I missed. But electrician full time.
Yeah. Okay. How did you get started in racing?
Well, I grew up in Greenbush, so
And well, okay, now I'm gonna backtrack a little bit here. Me growing up at Thief River Falls, I spent a lot of time at Greenbush Racetrack working on A-mods and stuff with some of my buddies there. But my entire life, I've always, for some reason, would think of Greenbush as a snowmobile town, you know, because of Dave and Dermot Wall.
Right.
And everybody knows about Wall Brother Racing. But okay, go on, because Greenbush, a lot of racing around there.
yeah. So I grew up. I think it started in '91. I want to say it was. So I was 4 then, but I'm sure I went to the races when I was 6, 8 years old. And then the neighbors that I grew up around, they went all the weekends, and they're really good friends with the Walls, and I go with them. And then I would ask my cousins to take me to the races, and it just kind of kept growing from there. And funny story, when I was old enough to go take my 4-wheeler or whatever to the races. Again, I was always late, but that was more so on purpose because I always said, "Oh, it's just the mini sprints."
Oh, yeah.
And now, ironically, I race one.
You know, and the mini sprints, so we used to always call them back in the day, they have come a long way.
Yeah.
There was really, you could go from track to track, and if they had mini sprints, you never knew what you were racing against.
Right.
You never knew if they were going to have a snowmobile motor and clutch, if they were going to be running motorcycle stuff, if they were going to sound like a snowmobile, if they're going to sound, you just never knew. And now that they've kind of got everybody, you know, on the same page here now, I tell you what, these lightning sprints, one of the most popular classes probably across the whole dang country.
Yeah, they're pretty popular. I think they've really evolved, like you said. They've actually become very, very presentable and nice looking cars. I know some people have some noise issues with them, but which I can understand. But at the same time, you're going to the races. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So I don't know. You're always gonna have them people, but it is what it is.
You know, back in the day, I knew people that didn't like it because of the noise.
Yep.
I hate that. Well, I used to close my eyes and think I was at a nice oval, listening to twin trackers run or Formula 1s or 3s or whatever. But I grew up on snowmobiles, so that was a good thing. I loved that sound. Nick Curtis says, and this is one of the questions I was going to ask you, do you ever think you would ever try to hop into a 410?
I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, I know financially I can't do it.
No.
So that financially and doing it myself, it just probably could never happen. But if somebody offered and had good stuff, I mean, it'd be fun to try.
Yeah.
For sure.
Somebody wants to know if you could just put a different exhaust on the cars to make them quieter.
Yeah, mufflers are big. So
Does that rob horsepower?
It can rob and gain.
Okay.
But the muffler is going to be the biggest thing. And actually, right now, I've been on borrowed headers thanks to the Hagebergs.
Okay.
Trying to get mine here. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, so I might still be on borrowed tomorrow.
Okay.
Depending on if they get their parts or not, or if mine actually fit. So we'll see. But yes, you're right. You can put a different muffler on it. And turn it down, so it's not pointing up in the air. You can turn it down to the ground.
Oh, sure. All right. I tell people put the headphones on with the radio. That way here, at least at River Cities, they can listen to the racing too and then not blow your eardrums out.
Right.
You talk about money with a 410. These lightning sprints now, there are ways to beat some of the costs. I mean, you don't need a big, huge hauler. You don't need all of that kind of stuff. But it's still a little spendy to get into a lightning sprint, isn't it?
It can be. All I run is a 7x14 enclosed trailer with a half-ton pickup. I've always told people I'd rather come to the races pulling a snowmobile trailer on a pickup and a wing in the back.
Sure, you can do that.
And whoop some. And versus coming in a big hauler and finishing mid-packer in the back. It's like, I think it'd be cooler to come on snowmobile trailer than.
Yeah, it reminds me, I was in a fishing tournament a couple of years ago, and we did fairly well, and there was some pros there, and he was kind of making fun at showing me what he uses in his equipment, and then I showed him what I used and how I chintz and buy things on sale, and I buy them in the off season to save money, and he kind of laughed at me, and so then how I really got him was, well, how much money did you win this weekend? Well, we didn't place. I said, well, we won a couple grand, so there you go. Kaylee Elizabeth, I know there was a price increase on a lot of parts throughout the pandemic. Are you still seeing the height in prices, or have they come down some?
Some stuff the tires are the biggest thing. And I feel like the quality in the tires has gone down with the price increase. I don't know what the deal is there, but maybe it's just, I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but it feels like the tire quality has gone down.
And I mean, you hate to say it, you hate to think it, but that could be done on purpose.
You're not.
I mean, how come now all of a sudden you could just have a drop off,
right,
in tire quality,
right?
It's like my wife has said, how everything has gone up in prices, and the prices they haven't really gone up because they have to, they go up because they can. That pandemic kind of started this whole freaking roll of things going through the roof. I know I ended up having to buy like 60 sheets of plywood working on my house, and at $80 a sheet, and it's ridiculous. There was no shortage of the stuff. It's just, well, I mean, I get it with shipping and all that, but do you go through tires that much?
It all depends on setup. The last couple nights in this car, I've figured out somehow how not to burn them.
Yeah.
Other than if it gets abrasive and rubbered up, but the car has actually been pretty good on the tires lately. So hopefully I can keep that going because that's going to save a lot of costs.
Oh, sure.
But like the price increase with some of these tires, these are the same size tires as midgets run. And well, if anybody knows anything about midgets, there's really no price. Price doesn't matter to them guys.
No.
So they're again back to you can raise it because you can. I feel like they raise it because they can because them guys are just going to keep buying.
They're going to keep buying them.
Yeah, and there's way many more midgets than there is.
Oh, sure. Well, they run midgets everywhere.
Right. So
wow. How do you like Greenbush? I got to go up there last year. I hadn't been up there in years. The racetrack. I know. Terry always calls it a hidden gem up there, Blacklands, and it really is. I know people that go up there that have never been up there, and they're, I don't know about shocked, but they're pleasantly surprised because it's such a nice facility. But that is a great racetrack, and it just keeps getting better all the time.
Yeah, back in I think it was 2015, Alan Trashinsky decided to try reshape it, and thank the Lord he did, and everybody else should thank him too, because the amount of work that he put in there that fall and the no rain that we ended up getting worked out very, very well for him and all the work that he did. So thank God that that Alan did that, or we wouldn't probably have the racing as good as what we do today.
Because I know people, they want to go up there. They put it on their calendar. They want to go up there and race. Heather says properly prepared racetrack helps with tire wear. You don't have to name any tracks in particular, Dexter, but are there tracks when you know you're going to go to and you go, oh boy, here we go, get ready to put on a new tire?
Not a new tire, but I have a bunch of scab tires that I'll put on.
Okay.
And just use them up. Somewhere where you maybe wouldn't on, say, a different track where, say the surface isn't as hard on the tires, you might want to put a newer one on. But yeah, you'll save those tires for certain tracks.
Has there been a track yet that you haven't won on that you're just itching to win?
Locally?
Yeah. Have you won on pretty much all of them?
I think the only one I maybe haven't won on, which we haven't raced up there in a long time, would be maybe Morden.
Okay.
But I think every one was locally that I have one on, yeah.
Yeah, you're not like the Jason Bird snake bit at River Cities Speedway kind of guy. It drives them nuts, but is it a big difference in the Lightning Sprint between these tracks?
It can be. Like Devil's Lake, for instance, the corners are so wide. So it depends on, I feel like, what gearing you would run. If you run the bottom or the top, depending on conditions. So there's a couple factors that go into there. If you're on the bottom and you plan on running the bottom, well, then your gearing is set. But then, say if you plan to run the top and you have to run the bottom, well, then you might be a little doggy or too tall. Now,
we've heard this time and time again, and I've seen the proof myself. You guys, your lap times are comparable to some of the big boys.
Right.
I mean, your lap times are comparable to the late models, the A mods. Is momentum a lot with these Lightning Sprints? I mean, if all of a sudden you got to get off the gas and hit the brakes, how long until you can get up the full bore again? Because I know that's kind of a big deal.
It depends on the track conditions again. If the track is, if it's sticky and you got to hit the brakes for someone or get off the gas or change your line or whatever, yeah, it'll take a bit because either the person in front of you or behind you, maybe they didn't have to brake or whatever, and they keep wheeling. And so on a track like that, yeah, it's a big difference. Whether when it's slicker, it's not as much of a problem because you're not going as fast, so you can more than likely get your momentum back fairly quick.
Yep. Amanda Joe wants to know, have you won in Ada?
That was my first win, actually.
That was your first win.
Yep.
How many wins have you got? Do you know?
56.
56. And how long have you been doing this?
It's my 12th year.
That's not too bad.
I didn't win my first year because I had a 750, and that was a different chassis. Then the second year, I bought my last car, which I had for 10 years, and I think I won like 6 that year. And then I didn't win my third year, but I've won every year since. But
to own a car for 10 years. That is a testament to you probably never had that thing on its roof, or did you?
I did. I entered it 5 times once.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't it just one of those deals?
Yep.
Okay, hold on here. Yeah.
So I have a question that might be kind of dumb. And I think this pertains to all the racers that are out there, but to win a race, you get what, like a prize package of $2,000-3,000 or something along those lines?
A race? I think if that was the case, there you would see the pits slammed.
Yeah. No, they don't get that much.
So that brings me to my point. Like when you say, when you roll your car and you take all this damage, I mean, do you just go home and you're like, I got to win like 10 races to pay for this now?
Nah, no. Everybody that races knows that you don't make money.
Yeah, it's more for fun.
It's all for fun. And the people that come in with big haulers, more power to them, but they're just more well off than the rest of us.
Sure. And you know what you do? You race to kind of try to help fund your addiction a little bit. If you could show up at the racetrack every night and come home breaking even, it wouldn't be a bad night.
No, that's everybody's goal.
Yep.
I mean, and winning, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, the winning does help. But the breaking even part, to help pay for some of the costs, whether it's the fuel getting there, some of the maintenance on the tires or the car, oil, whatever. Yeah, the goal is to break even. Does it always happen? No. And you might have your times where you're on a stretch where you're doing really well, so you're kind of on a high. Well, you just keep riding it.
Yep.
But there's always going to be that time where you come down to the low.
Yep.
So you got to take the good with the bad.
And let's face it, a lot of luck involved with racing. I mean, how many times have we seen a car totally get destroyed and had no fault at all of the guy piloting that car? It just, luck can mean everything.
Sometimes some of that stuff happens deliberately. Sometimes it happens that because people are driving stupid. And sometimes it's just unfortunate. And things do happen.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes out of your control.
When you're in an open wheel car, though, I know there's still stupidity out there,
Yep.
but you really got to curb that a lot more compared to these cars with fenders on them.
You have to respect the open wheel because, especially in a sprint car, I know mods are half open wheel, but a sprint car, those tires jump real quick.
Oh, they'll climb right up. Yep.
And when that does that, you think you could just jump the tire and land again, right? Well, no. Usually it takes your momentum.
Yeah.
And it might throw the car, and more than likely not, you might end up rolling.
Yeah.
So
wow. Heather says Dexter and Travis had lap times in the 13 last weekend at the 13s. That's pretty darn good. We're going to take a little break here on a Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway. Dexter Dvergsten is in the studio today with the POWRi Minn-kota Lightning Sprint. We're going to talk a little bit about Valvoline instant oil change. Life doesn't ever seem to slow down. Everything needs to be done yesterday. Same thing for an oil change. How many times have you not gone in because you don't have the time? Go to Valvoline Instant Oil Change, usually in and out of there in about 20 minutes. They do tranny and coolant flushes and tire rotations and batteries. When you go in there to get that oil change, they're also going to check your battery lights, your wipers, your cabin air filter. They're going to check all your fluids, your tires. You get discounts for fleets and the military. They can text and email invoices and coupons, too. Here's a really cool thing. They're already really cheap to get the oil change. Mention Grand Forks Best Source. They'll even knock $10 more off your oil change. They're open Monday through Saturday. No appointment needed. Pickup and delivery available in Grand Forks, too, for a complete oil change and more. Get a hold of them, 3325 South 38th Street, or call 701-780-8462. Make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you to Valvoline Instant Oil Change. And let's hear from another one of our sponsors, Muskox. Hey, if you move snow with a skid steer, you've got to see the Muskox difference. A patented back drag feature allows operators to blow snow while back dragging in front of obstructions. Garage doors, siding, and fire hydrants. Now, this saves time and money while lowering injury risk by decreasing manual labor. The optional dual auger, called the dually, helps the operator eat through big snowfalls, ice-crusted snow, and blow more snow while back dragging. And the glide plate, it allows you to glide over grass and gravel without ripping up the soft surfaces. Subsequently, create an instant torque on the lower cutting edge to break up snow and ice to better expose hard surfaces. See the Muskox difference. Go to muskox.com or Facebook at Muskox Snowblowers, or call 218-288-1905. See the difference for yourself. It's the Muskox difference. You want to give your toys and holler the buff look without the buffer? Check out Intimidator Polish. See the link on gfbestsource.com. Get the buff look without the buffer. Man, that's good stuff. Intimidator Polish, all right? Back with Dexter Dvergsten. Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway. Of course, a Minn-kota Lightning Sprint driver. Amanda Joanne Wright says, thoughts on infield tractor tires with a Lightning Sprint. And I never thought of this because I've seen what these inside tractor tires, ute tires, whatever they got, I've seen what they can do to a full-size car. I would imagine that would be like getting in a head-on with a full-size car, hitting one of those things with a Lightning Sprint.
Yeah, actually, I've hit them before, but I think it was 2 years ago now in Greenbush, the last race of the year. The track was really sticky, and I went into turn one, and the car turned more than I was expecting, and I drove the left front right into it. It sent me up in the air. It's I don't know what kind of twists I did and stuff, but the wing never. It got crushed a little bit, but the sideboard brushed along the ground, along the track, and just touched it. And I did some spins. I landed on my tires,
like a pirouette kind of thing,
right? And I remember seeing cars coming from my right because I was perpendicular to the track, and just thought, "Don't hit me! Don't hit me! Don't hit me!" But unfortunately, it was just an axle and a part of the wing that was damaged.
Oh, that's all.
But
yeah.
yeah. Still expensive, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it could have been way worse.
Yeah. Heather says Nolan tells the tale of half-buried road tires some tracks used to have. He called them the oil pan killers.
Yeah.
Said he'd rather hit the infield tire than the oil pan killers. I suppose those are the ones you don't see. But back in the day now, if she wouldn't have texted that, I do remember seeing that a lot too back in the day. But I think they're getting pretty good at cleaning that kind of stuff up. But I mean, those big tractor tires, they're there for a reason, and they do what they're there for. I mean, they serve their purpose. It's just, you hear a lot of people say there's no place on a racetrack. To me, that's like a tree in a golf course. There's no place, you shouldn't have trees on golf courses. Why don't they just put brick buildings out on the golf courses? That way you could at least play the bank, and play the shank off it or whatever you're going to do. We had talked about maybe getting in any other different type of car and the money and all of that. Have you ever had the opportunity to hot lap anything else?
I can't remember if it was a street stock. I think it was pure stock. Back before I raced, it was Jordan Duri's pure stock, I think it was.
Oh, sure.
Up in Greenbush for the mechanics race that I got to do, and I drove a little too hard, and I did a little cosmetic damage, and so that was my fender racing days. Were probably over there, but yeah, no, it was fun. And I think it was the year before that I got the race Brandon Johnson's Lightning Sprint, and I think that's probably what
Got you hooked.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
I used to help Jordan Duray all the time, and I was like, well, if I'm going to keep going to the races, I just will get my own car, right?
Sure.
And I love sprint cars, and I can't afford a 410, so
Yeah.
there I went and got myself at the time a mini sprint.
And that's what I did too. I was at the racetrack every week. And so I decided to get myself a race car. And as I was building the race car, that's when I met my wife. And pretty soon the race car was sold before I got it finished. But she always promised me another race car. She was going, and I've told this story a million times. She was going for a PhD. And, she had told me when I get my PhD and I get my first job, I'll buy another race car. Well, fast forward a few years, you throw in the flood in there. So that was another year we had to wait. But I was working at River Cities Speedway then. And the one day she just said, hey, it's time. I'm like, for what? Race car, what do you want? So I think I'm good. I mean, I love what I'm doing. Yeah. I mean, I get to meet you guys and talk to you guys and hang around with you guys all the time. I get to go to the racetrack all the time, and it doesn't cost me anything, and I'm guaranteed to bring money home.
Yep.
So I gotta like that. I noticed, I creeped you on Facebook, social media. All your pictures are either racing or hunting.
Yep.
You an outdoorsman?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see the Burt's Taxidermy shirt on there, and I've seen. Looked like. Did you have a nice muley in one of those pictures?
Yeah, I did. I think that was back. It must have been, probably 5 years ago now. Out in western North Dakota, north of Killdeer. Mm-hmm. That was with the bow.
Okay.
60 yards.
Wow.
So yeah, I really like the outdoors. But I guess there's, when the weather's nice, there's no better place to be, right?
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Air's fresh.
Yep.
Depending on where you're at, but I feel like the outdoors are more so in the country.
Yeah.
And some people call them outdoors on a patio somewhere. It's like, well, yeah, that's.
I mean, I could shoot deer off my front deck if I wanted to, but I don't. Yeah. And I mean, you guys are. That's the country where you guys are at. You take that stretch behind Greenbush and Carlstead, working your way this way. I mean, there's not regular mile roads around there, I don't think. That's some pretty big territory. That's tundra up there.
I mean, there's some that stretch to Carlstead to Greenbush there. Yeah, it gets into the Twin Lakes swampy area. But, yeah, there's a bunch of wooded area around there. And I used to hunt there, too. But, yeah, there's stretches there you got to watch out for deer. And, well, actually, last Saturday on the way to Devil's Lake, I seen a bear. Must have been last year's cub that crossed the road.
Oh, sure. There's been a lot of bear sightings around here lately, and people don't realize there's bears everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not, I mean, it's not like Cocaine Bear you see in the movie, people. There's a lot of critters that are around here all the time that people don't realize. I mean, I got fishers at my house. People are like, there's not fishers around here. Well, there are.
Right.
It's just certain animals are smart enough where you're not ever going to see them. Yep. Boy, it's like these people are reading my mind, Dexter. You excited for the Nationals?
I am very excited. This new car, I didn't realize or even think about how much of a difference it could make versus my old one. I thought my old one was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good in it. But this one, my confidence at the moment is super high. Not only because I've won the 3 races there, but just what the car does and what I set it up as, and what it does, performance wise. I'm shocked, and now being 5 races in, I can't wait for 10 races in to see how much more I can learn. And then when the nationals do come, if I can get a little bit of luck, whether it's drawing or staying out of some wrecks or something, I think I can do very, very well.
How fun would it be to beat the guy that sold you the car? Because is he coming up for the nationals?
He actually is.
Yeah.
Not in his car,
Okay.
but in the same exact chassis.
Oh, okay.
So we were actually just talking last night how cool it would be or how cool it's going to be to race each other in the same chassis, and just the fun it's going to be, because he's very competitive. I'm very competitive.
Sure.
And he's very good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm good, but maybe not as good as him.
Yeah.
But to beat him in the same chassis, I think could be pretty cool.
Now, is that a common chassis? Is it a chassis anybody can buy, or is this like a one-off?
No, anybody can buy them.
Okay.
It's a Diablo fabrication chassis. There's, I believe, 13 cars out there. But they're producing parts. And if you called to order one today, you could, I'm not sure what the lead time on it is, but you can get one.
Wow. All right. Amanda Jo, Dexter is a wonderful inspiration to the many rookies that we have had through the years. As a veteran driver, he takes the time. As a veteran driver, he takes the time with not just the rookies, but other drivers as well to help them out in any way he can. Dexter, you remember what it was like being a rookie? Is that why you're like this?
Probably more so that person in general, but yes, I was once there too. I looked up to guys that I chased and wanted to be like or actually ultimately better than. But you listen to those people. You be nice, and then basically all just same type of thing. They were nice to me, and I just returned the favor because, like I said, I was once there too.
Yeah.
So I want those kids or young people or beginners, whatever, to look up to me, feel that they can ask me questions and just that I can try help them in any way that I can.
Sure. And I mean, when you were first growing in the sport, I mean, I'm sure you leaned on a lot of people for advice and things like that. And then you start to notice once you start winning, that advice is a lot harder to come by, isn't it?
It is. I can tell people what I do. Like my other car was a Bailey chassis. Not many people had it. So, I mean, I could tell my setup, but it's going to be totally different than theirs. Like it just goes for driver too. Even if you have the same chassis, you're probably gonna have a different setup. But I guess you can tell them things that might lead them in the right direction. But ultimately, I don't watch them enough to know what they really need for the car wise. But yeah, you can help them out as much as you can.
And Bailey, I used to get Open Wheel magazine all the time. And I don't even know if it's a magazine anymore. It might be, but they always had an advertisement in there for Bailey chassis, race ready. And I can remember this years ago, $10,000 race ready to go. Kind of chuckle at that nowadays, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know what a race ready car would be. I don't know, brand new everything. 35 maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's a new motor run nowadays?
I haven't looked on eBay lately, but the last time I did, I think it was back down to, let's say, 55 or 6.
Okay.
So it's still not great.
No.
It's,
Yep.
it's enough.
Paul Erickson, Dexter helped me out a lot my first season in a Lightning Sprint. Now, hopefully, I can get my engine rebuilt and get back on the track with him still this season. Wesley Van Drunen. Remember when we crashed at Devil's Lake and had a guy bring parts from Iowa so we could race on Sunday at Buffalo River?
That would have been back probably maybe year 1 even.
Wow. Really going back.
I do remember an incident in Devil's Lake when the lights went out and we raced. It wasn't completely dark, but the lights went out, but it was getting really close to dark. And I actually remember a guy hit the wall, and I don't know if that car ever came back on the track, actually.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that was an unfortunate time.
You did miss a race this year. Your schedule, because you guys are all over the place, and we'll find out, some of the Lightning Sprints, you might not make that Buffalo River trip, or you might not make that Greenbush trip. You always kind of were split before. Are you going to try to make as many as you can this year, or how does your schedule work?
Work-wise, very flexible. At the farm, it's still still very flexible yet too, because I don't have a huge amount of acres. So, but yeah, I'm still very busy at home. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make as many as I can. I plan to try to make every one of them. Pending something happening, maybe like a wheel bearing going out on a trailer or something, like last year happened.
Talk to us about that. Where were you on your way to?
I was on the way to Buffalo River, and I was about 5 miles from the track, and
You didn't lose a wheel, did you?
oh yeah,
Oh boy.
I had been checking them. They never felt hot or nothing, and so I don't know if something come loose, but the whole crown nut and the key were gone.
Oh boy.
And the threads weren't buggered up, so I'm not really sure what happened, if something just broke or what. And so I'm 5 miles north of the track and just cruising down the road, behind as usual, and the trailer drops to the ground. I'm like, holy, what was that? And here comes a tire passing me. And I was like, no, this can't happen. And I got out and I looked, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, we got a problem here. So anyway, thankfully for Chris Crowder was there too, and Jason Olson. They came with the trailer, and they helped me unload and load up, and we went racing.
Wow. And it doesn't matter what the class is, but we always end up bringing this up at a Dirty Thursday. The other guys, I mean, your family, it's just like me with fishing. If it doesn't matter, last week somebody broke down, and it's your duty to tow them in.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you've got money on board ready to go weigh in or not. That's just what you do, and you find that out. You find out who's your friend and who the good people are real quick when something like that happens to you.
I feel like everybody would help if they're able. There's sometimes that people aren't just able to because maybe they don't have the tools for one.
Sure.
Or like in that situation when the wheel bearing went out. Thankfully for them, they were there, and they offered to come and help me. And that same night, there was an hour and a half rain delay, so it worked out really well.
Sure, yeah.
That way. Cost me a bunch of money, but but yeah, no, I think everybody would help out if they could. Even parts wise for cars. Everybody, I think in this class would give up something if somebody needed. As long as you replace it,
Sure,
pay them. Like last weekend, I needed a fuel pump from Matt and Kate Tave's dad or their team, and I went and got one. So I ordered one this week, so I'll just replace it for them.
Nice.
And but yeah, that goes for everybody. This group of drivers and family, or it is family, I feel like would help everybody.
Have you got a significant other?
I do not.
Going to keep it that way for a while or what?
Depends on...
the reason I'm asking is because somebody asked me the other day, ask him when he's on the show.
If you're smart.
If you're smart, you won't.
No, it's just the right one hasn't come by. There's been girls that have been interested that they haven't been interested back.
Yeah.
And there's Bergen girls that have been interested, and I haven't been interested back.
Yep.
So it just hasn't been the right time, I guess.
So you're an electrician by trade.
Yep.
You work for Todd?
I do.
And his daughter's still going at it pretty hard out there, or what's going on there?
Nope. I think she still lives in Indianapolis. I think she's doing some carbon fiber work for some company.
Okay.
Sounds like they do a lot of work for a lot of big time race teams. Not sure exactly the name of them, but I think her racing as of right now is on halt or done maybe.
Okay. What a great help that guy has been to a lot of race teams.
Huge.
You hear a lot of people talk about him, saying they wouldn't be doing what they were doing without him.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without him.
Mm-hmm. And then to have him for a boss too. You
Yes.
talk about your schedule being flexible.
Yep.
I mean, I guess as long as the work is done,
Yep.
you go ahead, do what you got to do. But how important is it to have a boss like that? I mean, I called you up out of the blue and said, can you make the trip down? I mean, and you came all the way from frickin' Greenbush. You had to take a 25-mile detour to get here.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe the streak will stay and you'll win tomorrow, because that does happen here on this show, by the way.
No pressure.
It happens a lot, but it's got to be pretty cool when you've got a boss that's that flexible.
Yep. Back almost probably 5, 6, 7 years ago now, when Stefan Snare was working for Todd. He was running the late model, Todd's late model, and then Jordan DeRay still works there, and he runs the A mod, and I run the Lightning Sprint. And during the summer, we would always say, well, it's Friday, it's race day. We're shutting down at noon or whatever time, it is. And that's just kind of the way I feel like Todd's Electric in the summer is and kind of still is.
It's like everybody that works there a race car driver.
Yeah, it's on the resume you have to fill out.
I should have went to school to be an electrician. Oh, darn it. I love up north up there. I know in the winter there's not a whole lot to do unless you're an ice fisherman or a snowmobile driver, but it's really nice up there. You guys are close enough to like the Roseau World area. You're close enough to Thief and even Grand Forks, but Greenbush just big enough without being too big.
It's fine. I grew up there. I've been there for 36 years now, and I think it's peaceful.
Yep.
Some people, maybe think it's boring, but
it's boring as you want it to be, I guess.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like there's plenty for me to do.
Sure.
But I'm not everybody else either.
Yeah. You have any idea how long you'll be still racing? You say you're what, 36? I mean, we see some guys out there that are been going for a long time.
Well, Lawrence Volroad.
Lawrence is one of them. Yep.
Yeah, he just finally hung her up here last mid-season.
And how old is he now? I think
80 or 81.
Yeah, he was like pushing 80 or maybe 80.
Yeah, and he's still helping. His grandson got in the car now, so he's been there as much as he can too, which is great. They're great people. Lawrence is he's a good guy.
Yep. What's the race? Is there a race that's on your calendar that you're most excited for this season?
Well, with the Nationals for that'd be the big one, and then the Chad and Corey Olsen Memorial. I'm not sure when that one's going to happen, but I assume it's going to happen. But that would be another one.
So the Nationals, okay, that's going to start Thursday.
Yep.
Ada?
Devil's Lake now.
That's right, Devil's Lake. Okay, and then Friday here.
Yep.
Saturday, Greenbush.
Yep.
And Sunday, Buffalo River.
Yep.
And this is where we get the guys from California and Colorado. And in fact, I can't remember what I heard now for a car count, but they're really expecting a big turnout for this thing this year. I
actually have had a bunch of people, drivers from the Wisconsin, Indiana area that have messaged me about track sizes and gear and all this stuff. I know Jason and Amanda put out a car amount number. This was a couple months ago, but I haven't seen an update on that yet. But at the time, I think there was 20 out-of-towners or out-of-clubbers, you want to call them?
Yep.
I'm not sure what that number is now, if it's grown, but, just say if there's 20 out-of-towners coming and we had our 20 locals.
Yeah.
Well, there's 40 right there.
Right.
Which we can have 20 cars. It's just getting everybody to the track at the same time seems to be the problem.
Yeah.
But, the C50 cars, I wouldn't be surprised because the money is good. That's very attractive. The 4-day racing is attractive. For me to go somewhere in the same scenario to travel that long a ways, 4 days is very attractive.
Sure. Yeah. You don't want to go all the way across country to race one race.
Exactly.
Something like that. Really got to keep your fingers crossed and hope nothing breaks, in the first night or two. But do you bring extra parts? Do you bring anything extra or you just hope?
It's both. I can only bring so much because my trailer's only so big. But most of the time, worst case, I could run home and get something, or could have somebody bring something or meet somewhere or something like that. But yeah, you bring as much as you can because there's, other than racing Saturday in Greenbush, I won't be home any of those days.
Right. So where do you stay? I mean, do you sleep in your pickup? Do you get a motel? What do you do?
Both have been done.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, everybody's got a budget too.
Yeah. So if I'm by myself, I'll sleep in the pickup.
Yep.
That's no big deal to me. But if somebody's with me, and more than my cousin Jake, if he's he likes to stay in hotels, so he likes to get a room.
Sure.
So that in that situation, we'll get a room. But yeah, either way, it depends on how late we stay at the track too.
Right. Amanda Joe says we're right around 50 cars now.
That's
for that Nationals. That's going to be incredible.
That is.
And I missed them last year. Got the Drayton Catfish Tournament.
Sure.
I'm debating about this year what to do. The thing is, if you have such a good night or a good day fishing, you're gonna party it up a little bit.
Yep.
And then I don't know if would be my best thing to do to come to work. And oh boy, I don't really know. I did want to mention too, next week we're going to be doing Dirty Thursday live from the Greater Grand Forks Fair. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be down in the beer gardens. Here's the deal, though, for next week. I don't have a guest yet. So if anybody there has any ideas, anybody that wants to jump in and sit down with us for a while, I wouldn't mind rotating the guests in and out. But if we can get some people to come in, that would be great. So a week from today, we're going to be at the fairgrounds, right when you're walking in, where they set up the big beer gardens and the stage for the bands. We plan on doing our shows there. So when it comes to, you mentioned your cousin helping you out. Do you have a lot of help on your car? Or is it just the two of you, or who else helps?
On a nightly basis, it's just me. Jake, he comes to the race usually in Greenbush, along with his brother Joe. So they're help. They're, whether it's moral or they're actually working on the car. It's great to have someone there sometimes. But most of the time when I'm traveling, whether it's to Glendon, Fargo, once in a while I'll get some help in Grand Forks, or nothing really in Devil's Lake. But traveling, I don't get much help, so it's just me, which is okay. I do a lot of work on the car anyway.
Sure, but you go into the pits and you'll see the big sprint cars and all that, and then drivers usually sitting over there signing autographs or chilling out or talking to people, and you got all these guys working on the car, and then we see you guys, the Lightning Sprint guys, busting your asses, and still stopping to smile for a picture or to sign a kid's hero card or something. But does it get tough on you? Does it wear on you? I mean, you got a 4-day show, 4 days back to back to back to back coming up. What's Dexter going to be like by Sunday night?
Well, I know there's going to be a lot of late nights, so I'll probably be pretty wore out, but it's fun. It obviously only happens once a year. 4 days, yes, it's a lot, but at the same time, just have fun.
Sure.
Have fun, and don't be a crab ass, and just smile and take it all in.
And that's the thing. After the races especially, we all have bad days. We all have bad nights, but you can't show that.
No, because usually what comes around is the kids.
Yeah, and they look up to you, man. I mean,
they want to sit in your car. Doesn't matter if there's something broke. They want to sit in there. They want pictures. They want to sign this, sign that, and it's all good because there again, I was once there too.
Sure. Amanda Jo Enright says just one word: bubble gum. Oh, I know what she's talking about.
Hopefully, it doesn't get spilt in the ground.
Oh boy. I can still remember that taste like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You got a lot of good sponsors that help you.
I do.
You got your list. Do you remember them all?
I think I can remember them. We'll start.
Give it a shot.
We'll start out with Bennett Construction, RCCA Co-op, Skag Lawnmowers, Storm Insurance, Napa, One Better Liquor, Todd's Electric, S Ridge Ranch, Spina Custom Egg Services, Premier Ag, Waggy Farms, Purina Feeds, C&M, Rosa County Ford, and Backwoods Services. And Johnson Paint and Repair.
Wow. Was it hard to get sponsorship, or is it easier as you win?
Well, I feel like as you win, it is easier. And I feel like being a good person, or try to be a good person, I feel like that helps too. If you're a complete asshole,
it makes a difference. It does.
And I have people that sponsor me because they love racing and they can't get in the car themselves, or I just have people that just want to help out just because they like racing. Then there's some guys that they sponsor and they just never come to the race. They just say, here, have fun.
I heard about it. I've heard you're pretty good. Here. Do you have to load up your car and bring it to sponsors, businesses occasionally?
I did a little bit back probably 6 years ago when the Hallock used to have a car show.
Sure.
Todd wanted me to bring it there, but I haven't. Nobody's asked.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that. Bennett Construction, Trevor Bennett asked me to last fall, I think, but we were in the field, so that didn't work out.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I would if I was able.
And it it's not such a big task to load up a Lightning Sprint compared to some of these other guys. But what are you growing on your chunk of land?
I got beans.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Everybody's kind of going to that, aren't they?
Well, one crop or one piece of ground last year was wheat, so it was just a rotation deal, and then the other chunk was just it's probably just easier to do it.
Yeah.
But next year might be a little rotation difference.
I used to have a bunch of farmland up by Donaldson.
Oh.
Yeah. It's all gone now, though.
In
Anyway.
the swamp or what?
No, it was all farmland, all tillable.
They call a chunk over there kind of the swamp because it's just so flat and doesn't really drain too well.
No, this was family stuff, and when one family member decided it was time to get rid of it, then we all have to, because I sure couldn't afford to buy 4 quarters of land or whatever it was. But you mentioned about being an asshole and things like that, and it does make a difference. I mean, let's face it, I've known race car drivers throughout my career that are pricks, and people know they are.
Yep.
And I was warned that they were. And I thought, well, I'm the guy with the microphone. They're not going to be that way, but they were. I've also seen people that I was told were pricks that change. A lot of them do, but they're still there, but they always get that stigma.
Yep.
The guy's an asshole. You don't want to even go down. But how do you want to be remembered as a race car driver when you're done?
I want to be something like you said before about the kids look up to. Someone that they have 50 of my pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
Someone that they want to be like. Just someone that's just a good person in general. And I might not have the best stuff, the biggest trailer, the most flashiest. But the person is what matters, I guess.
You're on the last lap, side by side with whoever, coming out of turn number 4. You gonna dirty him up, or are you a clean racer?
No, because I don't want them to dirty me.
Right.
So if that role was reversed, I wouldn't want them to do it to me, so I wouldn't do it to them. If something happens on the track with me and somebody else, it's never intentional.
Right.
I drive hard but conservative, if that makes sense.
Sure, it does.
I drive hard at times where they're needed, and conservative when it's needed. Say I start roll 4, maybe it's on the inside. I ain't gonna go barrel the car in there.
No.
If you guys want to go barrel the car in there, I'm just gonna come out unscathed. But I want to race to another lap. I want to race to all 20 laps.
Sure.
I want to finish the race, and I don't want to fix the damn thing.
Yeah. And okay, say you're racing. Let me rephrase this. And whoever you're side by side with on the last lap of the race has never won a race. Put yourself in their shoes. Do you still, you know what I mean? It's easy to say when you've won a bunch of races, no, I'll just back off, let them have it. But then again, you remember what it was like to get that first win, and you never know what would happen.
I actually just thought about this, and maybe I was talking to myself in my mind. But last weekend, because we have a couple up-and-comers that haven't got their first win yet, and they're searching. And they're going to get it.
Get close. You see them get close, and then they step on their, for a half a second, and there it goes. But
it's going to come. But at the same time, I was talking to somebody about wrecking. When somebody wrecks and you win, is it cool to win? Yeah. But at the same time, you don't want to beat them that way.
No.
So I guess there it goes to somebody that's searching for their first win. Do you want to win because it was given to you? Me, no. I would want to beat them straight up.
Sure.
I want to beat them straight up, and because that's the best feeling it's going to be. But then again, let's say if you're side by side coming out of turn 4 and you just let them go and you just shut your mouth and say, yeah, you beat me. I guess you could play that card too.
Hard to do though, isn't it?
It is, because
I mean, we have a pair for more than the one reason people think.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to see what I do. I feel like I'm just gonna race hard regardless, and just let them beat me, fair and square.
Yep. Who's Lucky?
That's my dog.
Oh, that's your number 1 crew member, huh?
Yeah, she's on a couple pictures throughout the season.
Okay. Let's see. Here we got Mike Schmiedeberg. I was in an incident with Dexter. Rolled, and someone said it was dirty. I simply responded with, Dexter isn't dirty. Was pure accident. All good. Was never mad. Dexter's a guy you can race beside within inches to spare and be comfortable. I would imagine after listening to you now and somebody, you get in a situation like that, and somebody that probably doesn't know crap about racing says, Dexter was dirty. He dirtied him out. But it's obvious to me that I don't think that's how you are.
To be honest, if something like that does happen with like Mike there, I more than likely went over to him and apologized. But if it's something like that happens in the future, I'm gonna damn well try to be the first one there to apologize. Because there again, I don't want it to happen to me. Obviously it wasn't intentional. And I don't want nobody to be like that.
Right.
I don't want this class to have people that are like that and just wreck stuff to win. Like,
You know,
why?
when you look at, I'll use River Cities Speedway, for example, rideoutcars.com victory lane. When we do an interview with a winner of a race and they talk about if it was a tight race between them and another car, you always hear that how much they appreciate the clean racing and not getting all dirty and all of that. That's when the fans go nuts.
Yep.
I mean, nobody wants to see, I hate that when you got guys battling it out and somebody dirties somebody and gets them, you just push them out of the way. Yeah. I can't stand that. But the fans absolutely love it when you can watch them actually race.
Yeah.
I mean, NASCAR now is turning into where it's just like, well, he did this, he did that. Now let's see who can punch the hardest at the end of the race.
It's a soap opera.
Yeah, it is. And it's getting old.
Yep.
I mean, it really is getting old. And you've also got guys that, during an interview on national television can give somebody the bird.
Yep.
I mean, imagine the sponsor. Imagine if you're down at Victory Lane here at River Cities and all of a sudden you look up at somebody and flip them off.
Right.
I'm sure Todd's not going to really dig that.
Well, I don't think anybody would. To be
No.
honest. Your friends, your family, your pit crew. I feel like the club wouldn't either, but obviously you're probably flipping somebody off in the same class. But I don't do that. I might do it off the air or off the
Sure.
the
Well, then
screen.
you can. That's a different
Right.
thing.
It's different, but you don't do that out in when everybody's watching.
And here's another thing too, and I'm sure you have found this out, Dexter. When you start to win, people either love you or they hate you. I could say, well, why do you boo Dexter? Well, because he wins all the time. That's not a bad thing.
No.
Have you heard any of the boos? Does it bother you if it does happen?
It actually kind of would if I got booed because I want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know why and how to make them cheer.
Okay.
I don't want them to hate me.
No.
I mean, if they're booing because I win all the time, well,
And I'm guessing that's why, because you don't give them a reason to not like you.
right. So I'd like to talk to them and see, like,
Yeah.
okay, why are you booing me?
I heard it with Dobmeyer for years. People would boo him, and it was just because he was a winner.
Yeah. You're going to have them people, though.
Exactly. And again, we all have our favorite driver.
Yep.
I'm going to cheer at the race itself.
Yeah.
Your favorite guy's not going to win every night.
No.
We're there to put on a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brad Sang says, it's a circus-type atmosphere. We want to put on a great show for the people as fast as we can and get everybody home safe. And a good race is part of putting on a good show. God, I'm glad you made it down here, man. I feel like it's such a long drive to sit and talk to you for an hour.
That's okay. I enjoyed it, and I appreciate you asking.
I was debating on who to bring in, and I thought, well, Lightning Sprints are going to be here more this year.
Yep.
We got them coming up this weekend. Why not? Let's get it. And let's face it, you guys, I need to show you guys a little bit more love, too, because it's not all about Lightning Sprints all the time. Daryl, all the Canadians watching, good day. John and Dexter, who's faster, you or Jason Berg?
Who's asking?
A guy from Canada, my buddy Daryl. One of the Daryls.
Jason's got his moments.
And Jason, by the way, has not texted me yet, so maybe he's not watching today.
Like I said, he's got his moments. He can be. I'll just go with more. I have more experience.
Okay.
I just want to mention too, because I think you mentioned that I think William Dick is from Canada.
Yeah.
And we apologize, William. We sent you those tickets to the Gone Country Fest, but it got returned back to sender. The address wasn't valid for some reason.
And actually just got sent back to the studio today. So, yeah, and that sucks. Sorry about that, William. Okay, so you're faster than Jason.
Sure.
By the way, we're looking forward to this. Let's see, coming up.
I don't want to tell anybody that I'm faster than him. I just want to go and prove it.
Okay. Well, you get your chance tomorrow night. July 9th, by the way, Chad Hoff and myself are going to be at Buffalo River. We're going to be doing the announcing up there. I am so keyed up for it. I can't wait. He's working on the track. That's why. That's why he's not watching or listening. What are your plans now for the rest of the day?
I'll go back to work, or I shouldn't say back to work, go to work for a couple hours, finish up the day, and go home and do some more stuff around the yard, I guess.
Yeah. Car ready to go for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I suppose I should get that ready too.
Do you have a day that you say, okay, this is what we're going to do? Or do you just kind of pick away as you can when you have time?
Yeah, I pick away. Usually by the time I get done at night, not last night, the night before, I was cutting hay. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get done doing that till like a little bit after 9.
Sure.
Last night I worked till I got home at 9:30 or quarter to 10. So by the time I got home, got in the garage, started working. I don't think I went to bed till it was 1:40.
Oh, jeez.
But lately it's been like that because the spring and the summer now has been so hectic. I've been trying to learn some things on the car, so I try to work on the car when I can, keep up with the yard, and just everything else. So yeah, I just chip away, and I'll chip away tonight, and I'll get it washed up, and get whatever I need greased up and looking pretty for tomorrow night.
Is there a big difference on chassis from your old one compared to this new one as far as setup and maintenance?
Huge.
It is.
Maintenance is maybe a little bit more, but it's not bad. It's easy. But yes, setup wise is drastic. I do less for more, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, it does.
Like the old car, I had to do more and not get the same results as I am right now. But now I'm doing less, I feel like, and it's easier, and I get the results I'm after.
Have you learned the car completely?
No, we never do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is that kind of a downer, or is that exciting?
It's exciting because you're always learning. If you know everything in life, or cars, or whatever,
right?
What do you got?
What's left?
Well, yeah, exactly. So you're always learning. You're always excited about something, and when you do find something out, you want to go apply it to the car and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
It might not be night 1, but maybe on night 2 when the track is a little different or whatever, you go apply it and see what happens.
Do you are you one of those guys that you get into a zone before you race, or do you meditate, or do you do any funky feng shui kind of stuff, or you just busy up until you get in the car?
For one, I have to go pee.
Oh yeah, yep.
I think that's maybe everybody, but
yep.
I have to do that.
Even if you don't have to.
Yep.
Yep.
It's always that feeling.
Yep.
And so I have to do that. And a lot of times I pace. I pace around the car. I just look at the car. I think. I look at every tire. I look at nuts, bolts, whatever. And I pace around the car and I look. I might go peek up at the track, see what it's doing. Is it getting dusty, or will they work on the track or whatever? But yeah, I pace around the car and until I got to get in.
Somebody wants to know, does Dex do personal development? He seems very personally developed. I don't know what that means.
I'm just me.
You're just you. All right. Good show, John and Double D. Thank you, Amanda Joe. If I would have known, if I would have remembered Chad wasn't going to be here, I would have called you up, Amanda Joe. But I always call her last minute when I find out Chad's not going to be here, and call darn it if she doesn't almost always drop what she's doing and come on to the show. But looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'll come down to the pits hopefully beforehand and get to talk to you. And you know what? Maybe we'll get to see you tomorrow night in Victory Lane. I think that would be a good time. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you making this trip down here. It's not an easy drive. It's not a cheap drive. And, taking 4 hours out of your life just to come and sit with us for an hour here, we sure appreciate it.
Talking racing or races or pastimes, whatever, I feel like is priceless.
Yeah.
I've always told people about the racing. Half the fun is on the track and racing. Half it's the, whatever, if you're having a beer, a pop, or water, talking racing afterwards is the other half. So I feel like this is a part of it, and it's a lot of fun.
We sure appreciate you feeling that way, man.
Yeah.
Imagine what I'm doing here. This is pretty swank.
Oh, I can't imagine you
sit here, drink beer, and talk racing.
How excited you are for every Thursday in the summer.
Oh, I am. I can't.
Better stop by tomorrow night. I'll have some lattes for you.
Okay, you got it for sure. I will be here. Thank you again for coming on. There you go. Wow, Dexter Dvergsten. He's a Power I Minn-kota Lightning Sprint driver. You will see him tomorrow. He's already got 3 wins here this year around the tracks, but you will see him tomorrow at River Cities Speedway. I can't wait. I love it when the Lightning Sprints are in town. And again, we are looking for guests that want to come on next Thursday. We're going to be doing the show live from the River Cities Speedway at the fair. So if you got any ideas, come and find me tomorrow night at the track and tell me who you're thinking, and we'll see if we can't reach out to them. Big shout out to Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. They are a sponsor of Dirty Thursday. They have been since day one, and what a great place. Maybe you want lunch or dinner. They've got incredible specials. We We see people going in here for lunch all the time. Right now, they got their afternoon bingo session going on. Wall-to-wall TVs. You can go bet on the horses. They've got the NHL package. You can watch all your UND Fighting Sioux sports, all the horse races, everything. And don't forget, Monday is DJ Trivia Night, too. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. We love the place, not just because they're right across the hallway from us either, because it's a great place. Let's see. Tonight, great sports show. Fork Sports Highway with Bill and Monty and a whole great crew bringing you all the sports news for the week, and there is a ton to talk about. Also, 9 o'clock tonight, the Brew Brothers podcast is coming up. We got a whole great day still yet to come. Hey, remember to like, share, tag, and follow us, all right? Hit that notification bell on your smartphone. That way you will never miss a show like Dirty Thursday. And we all know the Grand Cities is awesome. Grand Forks' best source is giving it an identity again.